Welcome to Daily Confidence for Entrepreneurs. My name is Mustafa Hussaini. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to get clients in just 90 minutes, a proven workshop system that makes it easy for you to create your own high impact virtual workshops with an end goal of selling more of your signature offer. Welcome, Daily Confidence. Mustafa here. My guest today is Liam Austin. Welcome, Liam.
Mustafa, thanks very much for inviting me on.
Great to have you, my friend. So, as usual, please make sure to like and subscribe to the show. Stay tuned for the period of our conversation. We're going to talk about some real actionable advice and to-dos that you could basically take home and start practicing today. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below and we'll make sure we will cover it. If you know someone that could benefit from this conversation, which is creating workshops and filling them up and selling your signature course and offer, which is basically everyone needs that, tag your friends as a comment so they could benefit from this conversation and they can connect with Liam, and we will go from them from there. Now the topic today is fill your courses and programs in just 90 minutes with a virtual workshop with Liam Austin. Welcome, Liam.
Yeah, thanks very much
Good to see
for that
you.
intro, mate. Yeah, good to see you as well.
Absolutely. Let me do the proper introduction. We're going to dive right into it. So, Liam Austin is the co founder of Entrepreneurs HQ and a virtual event strategist, having launched over 15 virtual summits, dozens of quick workshops, and many more online events, hosting over 400 speakers while educating 100,000 plus business owners through his programs. Virtual events that sell is his 6-week implementation program, which makes it easy for you to create your own high impact virtual events, from workshops and masterminds to summits and conferences, with the end goal of selling more of your high ticket offer, including how to blueprints, validate, and sell your new program as well. Liam is also the creator of the $1 Million Virtual Summit program, where he partners with select clients to generate 7 figures. Great to see you, my friend.
Yeah. This is a topic that I'm pretty excited about. Like, I know virtual events with everything that's going on has kind of come top of mind for everyone, but I've been doing this for several years now, and I just get excited every time I get the opportunity to speak about it because of the opportunities I see in this market.
Absolutely. And it's an important topic. And with COVID and what's happening in the world, virtual events are the thing now. I mean, this is not something we can ignore. So the more we know about it, obviously, the better, and the more we could practice. So, Liam, what is your story?
My story. Where do you want me to begin,
The
Mustafa?
story behind how you got into this whole world.
Yeah, sure. So it started back in the year 2000, like, yeah, 2000. I was working for an internet startup out of Sydney, Australia, uh, who was in the dating market. So online dating, yeah, over 2 decades ago. Crazy. Way before Tinder. It wasn't cool. Well, a lot of my friends at school and university at that time were like, what are you doing in this dating business? Right. But like, I was behind the scenes. I was seeing hundreds of thousands of people getting matched, finding love, getting married. I mean, we were getting invitations to weddings around the world, people sending us videos and letters how they fell in love, and just the transformation that we were providing for people through the internet, through online, just opened my eyes up to the opportunities of connecting people and making an impact in the world. So that's where it really started, my entrepreneurial journey, if you like. What worked then was we had a great technology that powered a lot of the dating websites at the time around the world. So I'm talking about MSN, so yeah, Microsoft, Yahoo, and some of the other big players in the world. And this was a little startup out of Sydney, Australia, but we were doing this in all the big countries of the world, because as soon as like MSN Australia saw the success, they were spreading that all across the world. And so what we were doing, we were leveraging joint ventures. We were leveraging partnerships. And I've taken that throughout, I think, my journey as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. And the biggest success that started this business was when we launched our first virtual summit. Virtual summits, it's a big collaboration event. You invite other speakers to come and speak at your event. They promote the event and share that they're speaking on your stage, transfer the authority to you. You build your email list, your own credibility, and then from there, you're able to bring more people into, your courses and programs.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So what do you do these days and who do you serve?
So now, like in 2015, when we ran that first summit, we were like 15,000 people to our very first online event. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is super cool. The impact that we're having.
15,000?
15,000 people at an online event in 2015. Yeah, I was like, wow, as well. Like, pretty crazy. And then we're like, okay, well, this is working. Let's, I'm a believer in if something's working, double down on it, like, or do more of it, see how you can scale it. So I did our next event. We had 13,000. The one after that, 22,000. And now I've hosted over 15 of these online summits, averaging about 10,000 attendees. But I also do short 90-minute workshops, which is the opposite end to the summit, which is like a multi-day, multi-speaker event. The other end is these 90-minute workshops. But essentially, people were seeing the success. We had over 100,000 people attend our events in under 2 years. And so since then, we've really been teaching entrepreneurs, small business owners, people who are just getting started in the market, how to launch their own virtual event, to build their email list, build their authority so they can sell more of their courses and programs. So from that, you can probably understand that course creators, coaches, consultants, service providers, podcasters, authors, speakers, anyone who wants to be an expert or seen as the go-to expert in their niche, we really serve them to help build their list and authority.
Amazing. Wow, 15,000 people is a lot of people, man. Did your server not give up on that? Like without that many people?
Yeah, luckily, like I'd worked, back in 2000 for a startup, so I just made sure we had the right web host so that we could scale on the spot, like instant scaling within just a few minutes. So luckily, we were prepared for that. And it's something you need to look out for when you are running an event, that you will get this big spike in traffic for your first launch.
That's like the size of events that Tony Robbins kind of runs, right? 15,000 people or something. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, it is. And like some of my clients now are doing that for their events. I've got a client who runs the Migraine World Summit. He's been doing it for a number of years now. He gets 100,000 people to his event. And we're talking about like, well, COVID, like, is there a saturation of online events now? These people coming to the Migraine World Summit are migraine sufferers. They get a headache from looking at a screen too long. Right? Yet they're attending a virtual event, and it's a multi-day event, multiple sessions. Maybe there's 20, 30, even 40 sessions that they can attend. And if the market's saturated, I tell you what, someone with a headache is not going to be spending their time on a virtual event.
Absolutely. So tell me about the definition of a virtual event. What exactly is a virtual event?
Well, a virtual event comes in so many different ways, right? Like what we're on right now as we're live is a virtual event, right? Webinars could be perceived as a virtual event. What I typically like to focus in on is workshops. So that's the 90-minute workshop where it's just you being the expert, being the teacher to an audience. And at the other end of that is the summits, where you've got multiple speakers across potentially multiple days. It could only be maybe a half day or a full day. But those are the two ends of the spectrum, if you like. And then it's like everything in between. One of the things that I've got as part of my resources in our members area for our customers and clients is a list of all the different types of sessions that's possible to be created at a virtual event. And I'm talking about from like entertainment, such as musicians, magicians, like jugglers, like clowns, whatever it might be, but all the way through to like interviews, Q&A, panel discussions, presentations, keynote speakers. There's over 100 of these different session types, depending on what your outcome is or what you want to deliver in terms of the experience and engagement from your event. So what is a virtual event? It's literally just a gathering of people on a specific topic who are learning from either one or multiple speakers.
Love it. So it could be webinars, could be Zoom, could be different webinar platforms, maybe a Facebook Live, or different types of just online virtual events.
Yeah, cooking classes. There's so many people that came up with these new virtual events because they weren't able to do their in-person events anymore. Like you think about the people who are showing up for their fitness training, weren't able to do it in groups anymore, so they're doing it online at a specific time. And potentially these are recurring events, like showing up every Tuesday at a specific time to attend that event. And I would probably position an event as something that happens at a specific moment in time. That differentiates it from an online course or a video series. Now, one thing that I want to point out here is I firmly believe that if you are running a virtual event and you're running the event, it's recorded and the content is valuable enough that it's still valuable tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, then we should record it and we should be allowing people on-demand access to the recordings from that event forever. So as long as it's relevant, which means you can get consistent leads into your business. You can build rapport as people are watching and attending your recorded evergreen event. And ultimately, you can start generating more income and clients on a more consistent, predictable basis.
Love it. Love it. Now, Liam, what is your secret sauce for filling out these events like in 90 minutes?
Yeah, so the great thing about the quick workshop win is you're just giving one simple quick win. All right, so something that you can teach someone in maybe 10 minutes. But of course, you've got a workshop, so you're workshopping on this across 90 minutes, right? But it's something you should be able to teach them super quickly in 5-10 minutes. That gives them a quick win. It gives them a specific result. So that's the content, right? And that draws them in. Like, what is the promise of the quick win? That's the title of your event. It's what draws the person in. So we've got the title. It should be something that you know really well, that maybe current customers or past clients have told you, oh, wow, that specific thing you taught me was a game changer. It was such a simple thing, but it just changed the whole trajectory of my growth in my business. So we've got the topic. Now we need to go out and market it. And since we're only teaching for 90 minutes on something we really know, we don't need to spend too much time on that. We want to spend most of our time on the marketing. And you can launch this in the next 7 days. So we want to spend typically 7 days marketing this thing. So how do we go out there and start marketing it? Look at low-hanging fruit. Look at your existing relationships and your closest relationships, people who trust you, right? So it's like family really at the center of the circle. And then it's your best friends, people who you're seeing like at least maybe a couple of times a week. And then it's outside of that, it's like weekly, it's monthly, right? And so where are these people hanging out? How can you get in touch with them? How do you normally have conversations with them? Let them know that this event is happening and to share it with anyone who they think may be interested in attending. Typically, it's like, okay, let's give a free ticket as well as an upgraded VIP type experience. So we're selling tickets, we're making money from the actual workshop itself, but we want to be marketing this. And typically where our friends hanging out, most of the time we're communicating with them via Messenger or WhatsApp, right? Or via Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We share it out to our communities and let them know that we're holding this event if they're interested, to come along and grab their free ticket or ultimately upgrade to the full experience.
Got it. So now we have to have the one topic, the one thing that you're going to teach, and then spend 7 days marketing this virtual training that you're going to do. Now, I have a question for you. If you have multiple things that they're going to get at, so for just to clarify, this workshop is a 90-minute, say, a webinar that leads to another workshop?
No, it's literally, it could potentially be, I shouldn't say no, but ideally it's like someone attending the workshop, spending 90 minutes with you, you've got them a quick win, they now see, oh wow, okay, I know now that Liam can get me a result. He got me a result in just 90 minutes, a super powerful one as well. Imagine what it's like if I spend 90 days, not just 90 minutes, but 90 days with Liam. Imagine all the results we could get together across that time. So by the end of the event, the way we've structured the quick workshop win is that they've got the quick win and they want more quick wins, right? That's just the first step in a much longer journey. So as we're doing the workshop, we're kind of seeding that. Okay, we've got this quick workshop, we've got this quick win right now, but that's just the first step. And if you ultimately want to achieve your end goal, whatever that may be for your audience, well, there's a few more steps. And yes, we can talk about what that may be like to work together for 90 days or 9 months after this session. But this session is something people pay for, right? So it's not a webinar that's just free. It is a paid workshop. It should be valuable. Remember, we run it once. It's recorded. We're going to sell it as an online course forever. So it needs to be valuable. And it's just seeding the relationship, saying this is the first step. If you want to talk about or discuss how it might look to work together further, let's jump on a call. Let's jump into Messenger, right? Or go and watch this webinar.
Got it. All right. So it becomes a 90-day. So how do we, okay. So it becomes a 90-day workshop, for example, on how to do Facebook advertising. And they would have a quick win where you show them how to set up your ads or how to create the graphic up for your ad. And then you would say something like, if you actually want to take this out to the market and go launch your ad on Facebook and multiple platforms, then you could join this 90-day implementation boot camp where we can hold your hand and walk you through in the rest of it. Am I on the right track?
Yeah, exactly. The one that I normally explain, the example I like to share, because it relates to the very first summit that I did. The first summit was on LinkedIn, the LinkedIn Success Summit. It's how to generate 3 referrals in just 3 minutes. So that's my 90-minute workshop. How to get 3 referrals in 3 minutes. And I teach them how to do that on LinkedIn. I can show exactly how to get 3 referrals in 3 minutes via screen share using LinkedIn. But I'm going to take 90 minutes to make sure that they're doing the right targeting, the right messaging, to be able to go out there and do this confidently every single day. So spending 3 minutes to generate 3 referrals every day, that's a quick win, right? 3 referrals, potential clients.
Where do I sign up for that, bro?
that exactly. And that's if you're designing one of these workshops for yourself, you can see how powerful that can be. And it's valuable. People will pay for that, right? It's a paid workshop. It's going to sell forever. And then, yeah, if someone wants to work with me further, we can talk about, all right, well, let's talk about how it's going to look to work together for, the next 90 days or 9 months to turn these referrals into actual high-paying clients.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So another question. Let's say that you have multiple things that people could get out of a training. Let's say you have 7 options. Mm-hmm. How do you go about picking that one hot, desired topic that people will go, oh, like your 3 minute in 3, 3 referrals in 3 minutes via LinkedIn training? How do you go about identifying the one?
It's the one that hopefully, if you've done this, 7 steps, you've done this training, when you do it live, a lot of the time you get the reaction from people, the reaction like you just had, like, where do I sign up for that? That's how I knew, right? Because I've heard that before. And I knew that that was going to be the one that I could use in the future to be that that workshop topic for me. Now, I've got dozens and dozens of these workshops out there, but it's just identifying, well, what's that aha moment? What are people constantly coming back to you and saying, yes, that training was amazing, or, oh, I get it now, that is amazing. They got results for it. They come back and they say, hey, thanks so much for teaching me. I got these results from these lessons that you provided. All right, dig into it. Like, what specifically was it about the training that allowed you to get these results? And they'll tell you. So essentially, it's about understanding your target market, your audience, your customers, speaking with them, and over time, it will become apparent to you what really is the standout performer that's really going to allow you to put your best foot forward for these new people that are coming into your world to learn about you. Because if you give them that quick win, that big, I mean, it's not a big, it's a quick win. It's something super simple, super short. We can teach in 5 to 10 minutes. But if they can see how simple it is, I want to work with this person because they make it super simple and deliver big impacts.
Oh my God. Would you ever suggest doing like a poll about the different ideas on LinkedIn or Facebook? Say, which one of these topics would you be most interested in?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think you could do that. I would do it in a way that who's interested in a workshop that gets this quick win, all right? And
Oh, okay.
posting that out and seeing how much reaction, how many people are interested, and how many people actually sign up for the free ticket and purchase the offer. And you know what? If you do, say, 10, 20 of these ideas and there's one outstanding performer, that's the one that you evergreen, you record it, and you keep sending more and more cold traffic to it, more and more traffic into this funnel because you know it's working.
Love it. Love it. Can you share with us some of your best tips and some of your secret sauce on creating a virtual workshop? I mean, you already touched on it, but could you maybe expand on that?
Yeah, so I think this is beneficial for anyone who's doing any type of a virtual event. And I've touched a little bit on it before, which is just this asset, this event that you've spent time planning, marketing, promoting, delivering. It's something that shouldn't just be a one-off, right? Double down on it. If it works, if you look at the numbers and the conversion rates and it's getting you clients, you're making money, it's profitable. Like, how can I keep doing this and do it even better? So, okay, we've done it once, we did it live, it's now recorded. I don't have to worry about creating new content or going live at a certain date anymore. I've done that, right? So I never have to do that again. Productivity, increase your time freedom. So we've got this asset for ourselves, this event that works. It's recordings. It's 90 minutes of the workshop. It's now a recording that we can sell forever. And you guys can get a bit of an example of this. I think we might be talking about this a little bit later on, so you can see this in action. But once it's done live, we've got the recording, we can now go out there and promote it. Now we can focus in on spending all our time on how do we drive more traffic into this funnel. We've got the landing page already. We've got all the emails set up. We know that it works because we did it right live the first time. Now it's just about putting more and more traffic into it. So I think that the biggest takeaway for anyone here who has done a virtual event, I mean, people have done webinars and you turn them evergreen, like creating an ever webinar, but do it with your workshops, with your summits. I've got dozens of workshops I've done over the years that are now out there in the world generating leads and sales for me every single day because people are able to access them on demand. Same with my summits. They're out there in the world. There's a free ticket. You can go grab one and it's making ticket sales on the upgrades every single day. That's leading people into the funnel. They're getting on the phone and they're deciding, okay, yeah, I'd love to join your predictable income freedom coaching program because predictable income freedom, our coaching program, is about predictable income. And if you're doing launches from launch to launch, event to event, like I was doing when I first started, 2015, 2016, it's tiring because you're only ever making money when you launch a new event. And then the traffic, the leads, the income, just as soon as the event's over, it disappears. So why not just turn this asset evergreen and sell it every single day into the future?
So the idea is to run the workshop 90 minutes, 2 hours, whatever that is, record it, make it available so people can access it, buy it later, create an evergreen funnel, and all you have to do from there on is just send JV traffic or paid traffic, and bingo. You're like making money while you're sleeping.
And you've got a new information product, an asset, online course that you can sell. And it took you 90 minutes, right, to record it and create it. You can go out there and create, dozens of these like I have, but you only really need one that works really well, and you're off to the races.
My God. You just gave me, I just had an aha moment. And that is, I run a workshop called Simple Marketing Formula, and it's got 6 modules. Each module is actually a standalone course. And we've got a ton of recordings where we could just have goal setting module. Here's a course. Target market, another course. Offer, another. There's 6 courses in there, basically. All right, cool. I love it.
And the great thing about that is, right, say you sell, it can be any of them, any of the 7 steps, whichever one gives like an aha moment, if you like, the best one, put that out there. And then, yeah, that's just one step in the whole series of our system. All right. If you want access to more of our system, yeah, let's talk about how that might look to work together.
You just gave me a good idea there. I love it. I'm actually going to test that and see. Make one of them my front end offer, like the 90-minute workshop, and then be like, you know what? Come join us for to finish this up. All the 6 steps. What do you think of that idea?
I think it's awesome. And another kind of bonus here is you can turn these, workshops, these recordings, these 90-minute online courses that give, a specific outcome like goal setting, your example, as a bonus to other programs that you're selling. So suddenly it's like, all right, I'm trying to sell this online course, but I don't know what bonuses to give away. Well, if you're doing these workshops and you're creating potentially new content on top of your existing, you can start selling these as bonuses and offering them as new entry points for people to come into your world, into your high-priced programs.
Absolutely. Love it. That was another great idea. Like, give them away. And each module in our workshop is like a good 3 to 4 hours. I'm sure there's like multiple courses within each of those 4 hours that we could just chop it up and sell it as or list it as a different course or bonus.
Yeah, and I think like if you can really narrow it down to like a 10-minute section or a 10-minute teaching, and then just go really deep into that 10 minutes during the 90-minute workshop, so people can really understand your depth of knowledge on that one topic and how you can take someone from 0 to complete, like the quick win within just 90 minutes. That confidence in you and your ability to get someone results makes them think, yeah, that next conversation, like if I'm going to be working with someone, it's going to be someone that I trust and know for a fact can get me results because they've got me results in the past.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
you. What are some of the mistakes that people can avoid when it comes to creating their workshops?
Spending too much time worrying about the tech and the actual content creation. Like this, if you're thinking like what the topic should be, it should be the one that first thing that comes to your mind, the one that like people come to you asking advice for. Maybe it's like outside of circles, maybe it's family asking you the same question. You just know the answer off by heart. Simple solution to a common problem. And just teach that. Don't worry about spending too much time on that. Go out there and spend the time marketing. Fill the room, get bums on seats, because at the end of the day, like if no one's there to hear about your quick win or no one gets a quick win, then you're nowhere. So just get as many people there as possible. With our first event, we had 15,000 people to our summit in 2015. But with these workshops, you don't need that many. You may need just half a dozen or a dozen people because they're paying to attend and they're qualified, highly qualified prospects that are getting to know, like, and trust you massive amount of authority and credibility because you've gotten a result for them and they're more likely to buy. So higher conversions into your next offers.
Love it. So, couple of questions. Speaking of paying qualified leads, what would be some price range suggestion for what people should charge for this 90-minute introductory workshop?
Yeah, it shouldn't be a profit maker for you. It's really about identifying the
Qualifier,
qualified
right?
buyers. Yeah, exactly. So whatever can really pay, if you're going to be doing paid ads, right, you want to make sure that it's kind of covering that or getting close to covering that. But I've seen anywhere between $7 up to $97, right? Somewhere in that bracket. However, I have seen people that run these workshops as a complete paid workshop, which may go a little bit longer than just the 90 minutes. But if it is like a profit maker for you and you don't have things off the back end, then you could be charging up to $200, $300, $400, even up to $900.
Got it. So if it's like 3 to 4 hours, it could be up to $1,000. And
Yeah, half day workshop. Yeah, like
yeah,
you can certainly charge a few $100 for that.
got it. Got it. Now you touched on the technology aspect of things, and you said if we spend too much time on it, that would be a mistake, right? So what in your mind? What should people do or don't do with technology? Like if I'm not spending time on technology, what do I spend my time on?
On the marketing, completely on the marketing. So just to give an answer for people who are thinking, well, what tech could I potentially use? Use what you've already got. If you haven't got anything yet, like go grab yourself a free account with Zoom and use Zoom for the live training, right?
Yep.
And you can record it there as well. And then it actually accepts registration, so it'll collect the registrations for you. And then you can just set up a PayPal account or a Stripe account and just send your personal link for people to pay. That's really all you need. You need to send emails to people, but just use your personal email to send out 6 emails if you've got 6 buyers to attend, or it's a dozen. That's 12 emails of your attendees to just make sure that they show up on time. So you want to be able to send emails, accept payments, and then deliver the actual presentation.
I love it. Love it. Absolutely love that approach. I'm actually working on a minimum viable product basically as we speak, and that's exactly how I'm doing it, just to test out the idea, basically just to see if it's going to work or not. And I totally agree with you. Like people spend 2 years on technology figuring out all the different aspects of the funnel and affiliate tracking and all that, and they haven't even validated the idea. They don't even know if people are going to pay for this or not. Well, just like you said, with a free account on Zoom, you don't even have to, like, you can ask people to just send you money via PayPal. They don't have to go on a fancy, foxy, shiny, checkout page and click here to check out. You could just say, hey, the first time or two that, and correct me if I'm wrong, just run the workshop and see if people will actually show up. Do they find it valuable? Are they willing to pay for this? Before you spend, and I've seen people spending tens of thousands of dollars on technology. So that's a big mistake.
Yeah, people think they need a website like to get started, and as you said, like minimum viable product, like the lean startup, just get going, just put the message out there, market it, and then if you've got buyers, you'll figure it out quickly. And it's that simple, really. Just send them a PayPal link to pay and jump on Zoom to deliver it. Like most of my audience and our clients that we serve are experts, they're speakers, they're authors. They just want to share a message. They want to teach the world. They don't have to worry about the tech. Like that's the last thing that I want to put my head into. So like everything in terms of the tech side of things, we try to make as simple as possible.
Love it. Love it. Liam, my favorite companies are 7, 8, or 9 figure companies that don't exist in terms of a website or some big technology piece there, right? Like you look them up, there's no Facebook page. But when you talk to them, there's this massive giants that they just take care of people's problems, right? And they get
Oh,
referrals, and oh my God.
do you know what? You've just given me or reminded me of something that's probably really valuable actually for the audience today. So pre-virtual events and online events, I used to run events like in person. I worked in Barcelona for a UK company, running events in the UK out of Barcelona. These are in-person events. I was flying in between Barcelona, Spain to London in the UK to run these events. And we had to come up with the idea for the event because it didn't exist, right? So we come up with the idea for the event. It was the International Trade Awards program. I managed to get Royal Bank of Scotland to sponsor the event, paying us like, I think it was £30,000 at the time. And then the next following year, we got HSBC on board. That was £30,000. And then year after that, they returned and sponsored the following year. And how did we get them to pay us £30,000? We created like just a Word document, PDF, right? Showcasing this concept and this idea that we're about to create. We didn't go out there and create a whole website or actually run trial events or anything like that. Like we sent them a Google Doc essentially. Like, and I've seen that and I've done that myself, where rather than go and create a sales page, people want more information about your workshop or your event. Here's a Google Doc. You can go read more about it.
Here's the link.
Yeah.
That's, by the way, probably another training idea. How to get £30,000 in sponsorship with a free PDF using Google Docs.
Yeah. Could I do that in 90 minutes? I could teach part of that in 90 minutes for sure.
I think you could get to somewhere in 90 minutes.
And like with our online events, like we've had Vimeo come and sponsor one of our summits in the past. They paid us 5 figures as well. 5 figures to sponsor an online event. This was in 2016. I knew how to deliver results for sponsors. I'd previously to this as well, I'd worked in Australia's largest email database list for consumers. We had over 500,000 people on that list, which is big for Australia. And I was selling into like all the big automotive brands, the big banks, the travel companies, like all the big consumer brands, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, right? And so I know how to sell into corporates. So when it comes to Vimeo, I knew how to deliver results online. So when they sponsored the event, they paid us 5 figures. They then came back and said, before the event had even finished, like, Liam, we want to renew this. Like, what other events have you got coming up? Because we want to be involved. And they ended up sponsoring the next 12 months of our events. So, and paying us another 5-figure sum, right?
Love it.
Yeah, and this is the exact same system, the same formula, the one I've been using for years to bring sponsors on. One page, it's called a one-sheeter. It's a one-page PDF, super, super simple concept of your event that brings on board, 5-figure sponsorship deals for your online events.
My God, man, that's like you're speaking my language, because all of our brand is about one page and simplicity. So everything one page, right? So I would promote that all day long.
All right, we're recording this, right?
Yeah, we
I'll come
are.
back to you.
I will. No, if you have that, if they have this training on the sponsorship, like that, I think that would be a viable thing. Like five-figure sponsorship formula in 90 minutes on a one sheet, using a free PDF and Google Docs. Oh man, that's like a no-brainer.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that's the thing. Like when it comes to doing these events, like I talked about like joint ventures and partnerships, and we talked really only about speakers before, but then that brings in another element, sponsors, right? So here you've got speakers who are essentially when they invite them to come on, potentially you say, okay, I'll share some of the commissions on any sales you make. So you end up paying them. You pay speakers to speak. I mean, you can invite them for free and they get some commission, so they earn that money as well. But then you've also got people wanting to be involved, and they'll pay to be involved. So you're not paying them, they're paying you to be associated with your event. So two opposite ends of the spectrum, right? Wanting to be involved in your event. How can that be? Like, some people you have to pay to be involved, others will pay to be involved, right? And then you've got everyone in between, like media, partners, and affiliates. Essentially, I'd normally break it down to those four people: speakers, sponsors, media, and affiliates. And it's the same approach really with all of them, just making sure that we make it a win for them. And that's what joint ventures really are all about, making sure that it's a win for both parties, but also that it lasts way longer than the event. So how can this work? How can we work together, over the next 12 months and the following years? So we want to make sure whatever that first interaction is, that it is a quick win or a big win, right? It has a big impact on those JVs, so that we can continue that relationship and it can grow.
Absolutely. Now, Liam, I understand you're sharing a gift with our audience here, the ultimate virtual workshop checklist. Could you tell us about that, please?
Yeah, sure. So keeping it simple again, right? One page checklist. It's actually a Google sheet. Yeah, Google sheet. Keeps it really simple for people. There's some actual bonuses, like describing how to use this checklist, but it's just the checklist of everything you need to market the event, to deliver the event, and how to create it, all the technology side of things. So each step along the way, what you need to do to deliver a quick win, that will bring you more clients that you love working with ultimately. So yeah, if you go to quickworkshopwin.com, you'll be able to grab that checklist and a few of the extra bonuses there.
Beautiful. So again, grab this, the ultimate virtual workshop checklist, which is a free PDF download. The link is in the descriptions. The link is in the comments. Click on it, download this. It's a one-pager, and it will save you probably a few years of headache, and use and tap into Liam's experience on how to run a workshop. And it's pretty valuable. I'm a checklist guy. I'm a simple everything one-page guy, so I'm definitely getting that. And we've got a checklist for every little thing that we do. So
makes life easier, doesn't it? When there's just like, oh, what am I meant to do next? Oh yeah, just the next thing on the checklist. And when it's a proven checklist, a system as well, like, I mean, learning from experts, I mean, that's why we're all here today after all.
Absolutely. Now, Liam, a big concern for people in the virtual world in this COVID madness is standing out from all these events out there, because there's a lot of them right now. Do you have any tips for how people could stand out from all this? I mean, there is like daily invitations to events. How do we stand out?
Yeah, so solve a big problem. And it's essentially the quick win. So we've covered this already. Like, deliver the result that people really want, and you'll attract people, right? Like migraine sufferers, they want to get access to expertise that they're not able to get access to otherwise, because all of the experts are booked up for years. You can't get a consultation with them, right? The only way you can get access to their information and the latest data and cures, well, there's not really the cures, but the things that can help you make life better, is if you attend this virtual event, the Migraine World Summit. So if you are solving a big enough problem, delivering the right result for people will show up, and really just focusing on that quick win.
I love it. Love it. So the code is solve a big problem and you attract people.
Yeah.
Period. Love it. This is going to be highlighted on our blog for sure. So can I share on what I'm doing on this actually today as we speak?
Absolutely.
it's interesting that we're talking about this. As I was thinking of breaking down the idea of 6 modules from my workshop. I am literally doing a poll on LinkedIn as we speak, asking people which one of these topics are you more interested in. And if they give me the top 2 or 3 out of 6, then I know what's going to be the front one that I'm going to just put forward. That's going to turn into this 90 minute or 2 or 3 hour workshop that we could just put out there and market it separately and heavily and all that.
Perfect, man. And this is the way it should be. Like, it's called Quick Workshop Win for a reason, right? Do it quickly. It should be something you could set up and learn quickly. Like within 7 days, you should know whether it works or not. You've got a brand new product for your business. If it doesn't, no worries. We're going to the next week, the next 7 days to try or create something new. But what you're doing right now is you're validating. You can validate within the next 24 hours which idea is going to work better than another.
Absolutely. You could even, I think you could do it on multiple platforms, like go on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You could do it in a group and just get a few different, if you have an email list, email the list and say, give me the top 2 topics that you'd like to see here. And you could, like you said, you have some friends, you could email them or message them on the Facebook Messenger and say, I want your feedback. If I offered any of these workshops, which one would you be interested in? There is your validation, and I think you're one step closer to, instead of spending 6 months to try 6 different things.
Yeah, do it quickly. I mean, that's part of the thing that we learned from our audience, that the summit, the other end of the spectrum, is like a multi-day event, multi-speakers. There's a few more moving parts. It's maybe a bigger commitment and a bit more work than the 90-minute workshop. It's literally 90 minutes. Like if you wanted to run it tomorrow, you could. You may not. You only have like 24 hours to maybe promote it, but now we're giving you 7 days. If you want 14 days, sure, 14 days, but spend it on the marketing and promoting.
Absolutely. Can I share one more thing that I've done to add to?
Oh, I love that you're an action taker. Yeah.
So speaking of decide today and run it by tomorrow, last year before COVID, it was a Thursday that I decided to do a workshop. Friday, I emailed the list saying, if I offer this workshop on Monday, will you join? Like 15 people responded and said, yes, I'll be there. Bingo. We launched the workshop on Monday. It was just one email. So going back to the idea of validating and asking me. And if nobody responded, then I knew that this is not the idea. I could have sent another message, right?
Well, yeah, like I said that we've got dozens of workshops out there in the world generating leads for us. And I can tell you right now, it's the 80-20 rule. Like 20% of them perform way better than the other 80%, right? They deliver 80% of the results. It's even more than that. I'd say even like maybe the 5% deliver 95% of the results. Like, absolutely. So you got to go out there and test these things. And even though I've done this so many times, like, yeah, we get better and they improve, and markets change, targets changed as well.
Love it. Good. What is your number one success tip in 15 seconds or less?
Partner with other influencers in your marketplace. Become friends with them, build relationships with them, and really find a way to support each other and make it a win-win, because rising tide lifts all boats, and it's more fun when you've got not a shoulder to cry on, but you've got support there if you need it from someone who knows your market and target customers intimately.
All right, for someone that wants to get us started with that, do you have a tip for how to find and approach and make friends with some influencers that you want to?
Yeah, invite them to be a guest at your event. So whether it is a podcast, a workshop, a summit, right, a YouTube video series that you're creating, like, invite them to be a guest and interview them, build a relationship that way. And the great thing about that is that you're inviting them to speak on your stage in front of your audience, and that's a huge compliment. And it's something that, as long as you make it easy, simple for them, and you make it fun, you're able to build that relationship with them. That's the thing that kickstarts the the relationship, and we can have
Love it.
discussions from there about what it might look like to, partner and do more things together.
Love it. Love it. Now, let me dive into some personal questions. Leon, what's a new thing that you have tried recently?
Paddle boarding down a stream in southern Sweden.
Wow. That must have been fun.
Yes, and I say stream because literally it was only about 1.5 meters wide in some places and overgrown with trees. So you had to lie down flat on the board to get under them, stand up and jump over certain branches to
make
to
it.
continue. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good fun. It was very, very slow stream. There's no rapids or anything like that.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Give me your top 2 or 3 favorite books that have made a massive difference in your life or business.
Oh, books. Wow. All right. So I think the Lean Startup is amazing because we've touched on so many aspects of that here, and it's just a philosophy of testing and iterating and doing things quickly.
Yeah.
And one book that I'm reading now is From Impossible to Inevitable, and it's about just making sure that you are doing things in a way that allows you to have more predictability and consistency, that ultimately it's inevitable that your goals and dreams and desires or whatever you're creating in your business will come true. Because part of my business, predictable income freedom, I'm all about that and I support that. So that book's been super interesting for me right now.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. What is one advice that has made a massive difference in your life or massive change or difference in your life or business?
Can I share a quote?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I used to play professional soccer. A little fun fact, since we're getting personal, back in Australia. So certainly wasn't getting paid the big bucks or anything like that. I was still at uni, and it was true. My dad used to tell me that growing up as a kid: if you don't take the shot at goal, you'll never score. So I've believed in that with business as well. Like with these workshops, give it a go, take the shot. It's just 7 days. If you miss, oh well. But if you never try it, you'll never know whether you'll score, and it'll be a big win for you.
Love it. Next one. What advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Do a virtual summit today. Only because it's just
that.
Well, I think it's just like the ability to, what it does, it's a whole business in a box. Like you're able to enter in a brand new market without knowing anybody, suddenly build relationships with the top influencers in your market, build your email list, and not just an email list, but an email list of people who have been recommended and referred to you by influencers, which increases your authority with that email list. So now you've got a warm email list of people who know, like, and trust you, see you as hopefully the go-to expert. You've performed well in interacting on your summit, and you've delivered results for them, hopefully a few quick wins within there. And then from there, anything's possible. Once you've built up your email list, your audience, you've built these relationships with influencers in your marketplace, you can pretty much go out there and sell and do anything.
Love it. Leanne, this has been an absolutely amazing conversation. Is there anything that you'd like to add that maybe we forgot to talk about or mention?
I don't think so. I think we've covered most of it here, but go take action. Like if you guys are following this show, I've been listening to other episodes with Mustafa. Like he's obviously an action taker. He lives by, I think, some similar beliefs of myself. Just go out there and give it a go. What's the worst that can happen? Like you fail and then you come back, and it's not a failure, it's actually a learning process. So like go out there, try it, give it a go. One story, if I can quickly share it.
Absolutely, we got time.
Okay, so my partner in the business and in life, Sarah, we met in 2014 in Sydney, Australia. She was studying university there. She was on a student visa. She's from Sweden, where I am right now. But back then, she was like, well, my visa's running out. I have to return back to Sweden. Like, what are we going to do? And I was like, well, I want to live in Australia. And she's like, yeah, I want to kind of live in Sweden, but how are we going to make this work, right? Like, we're in love. We want it to make it work. How are we going to make it happen? And I'm like, well, we're going to make money online. Let's create a business together. And so we tried a few different things and none were ultimately working until we ran our first virtual summit. Like, we got 15,000 people there from, like, we had maybe 100, 200 people on our list from what we'd been doing previously. But like, it completely changed our life and our world. Now, like, we're in Sweden, but I'm Australian, and most of our clients are in the US, and we're traveling around all the time. Like, we live in Malta most of the year. We hopefully can go surfing in Portugal sometime soon in the future. Like, we live this life where we can earn income anywhere in the world as long as we've got internet connection and a computer. And it all started with a virtual summit. So if you've got a reason that motivates you to create a lifestyle for yourself, or you've got a dream of, predictably making $10,000 months, like go ahead and create not just the virtual summit, but make sure you're designing it in such a way, or whatever virtual event you're doing, design it in such a way that it creates a journey for people, so that by the end of it, they know that you can get them results and that you are the person to help them further along with the next steps in the journey. Hence, let's work together again for the next 12 months. So I just wanted to share that story because what I've done with our virtual events, like, it completely changed my personal life, my business life, everything. And now I'm teaching others how to do it because I know what an impact it can have, like, on myself, on, I'm helping Carl with his Migraine World Summit. I'm helping all these migraine sufferers out there in the world. So you do so much good by just hosting one of these events. So go out there and just, take that shot.
Are you helping people with migraine sufferers?
Not personally, but via helping him create and launch these events, right? We're having bigger and bigger impacts every year, which I love that I'm supporting that. One of my other clients is in dementia, right? These are health ones, but I've also got people who are business focused, who just want to generate more clients or help people in their market. And just being able to help people overcome stressful situations, challenges, struggles, pains, and instead experience these results and outcomes and benefits. Like, how good's life if you can create a business that has that kind of impact? And essentially that's what a virtual summit does.
Absolutely. Yeah, the reason I asked that is because I used to work with some of the world's top chiropractors that specialize in migraine headaches. So I'd be happy to introduce you to them if they could maybe join your friends to maybe share a few conversations about overcoming migraine headaches.
Yeah, cool, for sure. I think, that would be helpful for him, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Wow, man, this was like a really, really good conversation. I really enjoyed it. I was totally relaxed during this episode, which tells me about how awesome this conversation was. So thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. Gang, if you're watching or listening, make sure to go download Liam's gift, the Ultimate Virtual Workshop Checklist, which is a free one-page download. It gives you the checklist that you need to use to run your virtual workshop and how to set it up and the rest of it. And we'll go from there. Do reach out to Liam and his team and learn how to set up a virtual workshop. You don't just invite like 15,000 people or 500,000 people event. That's not a joke. So the guy knows what he's doing, knows what he's talking about. Do reach out, tap into his wisdom and potential, and launch your workshops and start, creating passive income and reaching out, establishing yourself as an expert, and all the goodies that come along with that. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Liam. I know it's like evening time in Sweden, so I want to let you go back to hanging out with your family. And gang, make sure you like the show, subscribe to whichever channel you're watching, tag your friends. If you have any questions for me or Liam, make sure to put it in a comment. And if you're watching or listening on any of the podcasts, please make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, and rate the show. That helps us reach to more people and make a bigger impact. And we'll go from there. My name is Mustafa Hosseini. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week with our next episode. Bye now.